Hi, and welcome to Kitchen Uncovered. I'm Chef Andrew Nicholson at the Culinary Institute of Canada. Today my guest chef is Chef Hans Anderegg, and chef instructor here at the college. Hi, Chef.
How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
It's been fun. Thank you.
So what do you do at the college? You're a chef instructor. Which program do you teach?
I've been here for a long time, and I'm teaching charcuterie right now.
Charcuterie?
And also meat, game, and poultry.
Okay. And you do some coaching too with the culinary students and stuff like that, right?
Started way back and haven't stopped since, I think. Been to the Olympic a couple of times, 3 times, 4 times. Can't even remember.
4 times the Olympics with the school?
With actually 3 times with the school.
3 times with the school?
Yeah.
And we
Lots
did how?
of fun. Well, we did gold, silver, and silver is great.
Great?
Great experience.
Good experience?
Oh, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
we did really good. And show the world what we can do in PI.
Okay, awesome. So what are we doing today, Chef?
Since I'm teaching that course, so I thought we'll make a nice terrine.
Awesome.
A chicken pork terrine. And then with that, we have a beautiful chutney, cranberry fruit chutney.
Okay.
Simple, takes a little time, and you have to plan ahead because it's not something you would do in a half an hour. It takes a day and a half, 2 days at least to get it all done.
Get it all done.
Yep.
Okay, good.
So
where are
we would have to start with the fruit chutney here.
Okay.
Simple. Dried apricot, nicely chopped, small slivers.
Okay.
We'll put those in a bowl here.
Okay.
We have some ginger, some nicely chopped ginger here.
Fresh ginger? How much?
Fresh ginger, it's about a quarter cup. And then some raisins. Just put those all into a bowl.
So a lot of dried fruit with a little bit of ginger.
And we have some, a little bit of
Dates.
dates, yeah, what am I saying here? Dates. Mix those together. Orange juice, since we say it's a fruit chutney.
Okay.
Okay, mix this nicely all together. And then we will let that sit overnight, or at least 8 hours, just to marinate them, right?
Just to let the juice soften up the dried fruit a little bit?
That's right, yeah.
And how much orange juice did we use?
About three cups, about
3 cups?
Yeah. Okay, so this one would be set aside.
So we just set that aside for 8 hours or so?
That's right.
Okay.
Then
where do we go?
We're just gonna take this a little closer here. We need some heat source.
Okay, Chef. So we'll turn this on.
Yeah. Let's see. We have a nice flame there. Make sure it gets warm.
Okay. So we want it to warm up. We don't get it hot though, because we don't want to.
That's right. We just want to make sure that butter doesn't burn.
Okay.
That's the last thing we want to do. Then we have some nice carrots here. We have some shallots here. Some celery. We're gonna slowly saute those up.
Okay.
And extract the flavor by sauteing.
So we're going to saute them. We're going to sweat them a little bit. We don't want any caramelization on them, though.
No,
do we?
It's butter. Otherwise, we'll have a problem with the butter and it'll be burnt.
Okay.
And just give me a minute there. We can turn that back just a little bit. As you said, want to put the carrots in it already.
So you call that a small or medium dice?
A small dice, yeah.
Small dice.
Just not too large because you want to have some extract some flavor with that. Then we have some celery. Now we add that to it. It's beautiful.
So this would be what we refer to as a basic mirepoix.
Mirepoix,
right?
Onions, carrots, celery. It's just put into a marinade over the meat, believe it or not.
Just so we get a bouquet of flavors.
Exactly, yeah. Now, that's not always necessary. Some other chefs won't do that. There's other cuts you can do.
Yeah.
But since I'm the old-fashioned, the classical way, as you probably would
Classical,
say, we have to do it the correct way.
There you go.
Well, there's always 2 ways to roam, they say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little faster way or just a little slower way. But we certainly make it a little the correct way, a la escoffier.
Yeah, exactly. Escoffier. So we're gonna sweat out the vegetables, get the flavor out. We don't actually want to color them at all. We just want to have the natural flavors come out.
Yeah.
That'll take a couple of minutes.
I'll just take a little garlic here, just slice it, chop it, 1, 2, 3. Add that to it as well, right?
So a rough chop of the garlic.
Chop,
just 1 clove.
Just 1 clove, yeah. Just add that to it. Make sure that's also mixed in nicely. Okay.
So we've got some fresh herbs and stuff. Could you do this recipe if you wanted to use dry herbs and stuff like that, or?
Oh yes, I mean, the fresh is always nicer.
Yes.
But sometimes you don't have it at home, so you can just take some dry ones.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna have a little bit here. I just don't need much, just a little bit to give it some flavor there. Just a little rosemary is always nice.
Okay.
Right. Bay leaves, you know, always very nice. I have some peppercorns here. Add that to it. Yeah.
Just to add on the flavor.
Some allspice.
So allspice, peppercorns, bay leaf, fresh rosemary.
Just smell that.
Sweating it, just smell the aromas coming out.
It's just beautiful, right? Now we deglaze that with some sherry there.
Deglaze that. Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful. So, just a look at that. Beautiful. Now then we have some chicken stock as well. Add that to it, right?
Some dark chicken stock. So you don't let the sherry reduce very much. You just kind of let it
all reduce
all together.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you didn't have the chicken stock at home, what would you?
Well, you can chicken bouillons you can use, and then mix it with water. It'll work as well.
Okay, just to get the flavor out.
Just any chicken base will certainly works as well. We don't have that sherry. If you don't have sherry, sometimes they use port, Madeira, any fortified wine. Also works with that as well.
Yeah.
So we bring that to a simmer it for about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we'll cool it off, believe it or not.
Okay.
And then we'll have some meat, right?
Right.
We, for example, we have some chicken and we have some pork.
Yeah.
So that's going to be our main terrines we're going to make.
Okay.
So we diced up some chicken now and some pork, fairly lean pork.
Lean pork, so you don't want a whole lot of excess fat on the meat?
Not too much, because what we're going to do is add extra fat to it later on.
To separately.
Keep it moist, right?
Okay.
Nice moist terrine.
Okay.
And make sure that that's be there. So the chicken, again, you can always get it ground if you like.
Yeah.
It's available. Same with the pork.
Yeah.
If you don't have the equipment at home, but if you do, it's always nice to make it.
And no specific cut of pork either. It could be a shoulder or like a leg roast. It's just whatever you happen to.
Yeah, shoulder, not an expensive cut.
Yeah, not like a tenderloin or loin or anything.
That's right, an inexpensive cut from the shoulder. Same with the chicken, you can just take the end cuts. Should be white meat.
Okay.
If you want to use dark meat, then you have to make sure all the sinews are gone, skin is off, no skin of that as well with this. And as you can see, our items are simmering quite nice.
Okay, so we don't necessarily have to reduce that. We just bring it up to a simmer to blend all the flavors.
Well, we want it to simmer a little bit more.
Okay.
So it almost reduces, not to a high boil, just a medium boil. And then we can marinate this, believe it or not, we have to cool it off.
We're going to cool it.
And then pour it over the meat.
And then pour it over the meat and let that sit.
Let that sit overnight.
Okay.
And that's going to be a beautiful, flavorful marinade.
Awesome. It smells great. Can't wait.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to let this simmer for a little bit, and then we're going to chill it down. We're going to pour it over the meat. When we come back, we're going to do some grinding for the for the meat terrine.
This portion of Kitchen Uncovered has been brought to you by the Culinary Institute of Canada. For more information on their programs, you can visit hollandcollege.com.
Everybody's too busy.
Everybody's too busy.
Everybody's too busy.
I don't like school.
I'm failing.
I really hate bullies.
I get more exercise from bullies.
She has a secret.
Everybody at school knows.
She has a secret.
Really
Nobody
sucks.
listens.
I don't like school.
Well, I have to choose. Who's my dad?
I'm terrified.
I hate being
terrified.
bullied.
Everybody's
This
too busy.
sucks.
Got a problem that won't shut up? Let's talk. Kids Help Phone. Anonymous, confidential, 24/7.
What does it take to make our children happier? How do we make them healthier, stronger, and more confident? We bring back play. At Participaction, we say, dust off the bike helmets and revive hide and seek. Let's give them 60 minutes a day of the physical activity that kept us happy and healthy when we were kids. Let's bring back play. Participaction. Let's get moving.
Community organizations and not-for-profit groups are invited to submit their announcements for free promotion on the Community One bulletin boards. Visit us at bellalliant.net.
Welcome back to Kitchen Uncovered. I'm Chef Anderegg with the Culinary Institute of Canada. I'm here today with our guest chef, Chef Hans Anderegg, longtime instructor here at the college. And so far today we're making a house-made terrine.
Yes, we have the meat ready for you.
Have
we
the
have
meat
to
ready?
marinate it. We made the marinade.
Yep.
Cooled it off.
Yes.
And now we can mix it together.
Okay, so now we're gonna mix
I
it
have
up.
the meat.
Yep.
The pork.
So we got the pork, the lean pork
The
that's
lean
diced
pork,
up
yep.
with very little fat in it.
And the chicken.
Chicken breast?
Yep, chicken breast.
we don't want an
Mix that
excess amount of
together,
fat.
Yep. Then we'll have that lovely marinade here.
Okay.
Right. Remember we cooled that.
Yeah, so that's the shallots and
Carrots,
carrots,
celery,
rosemary,
yep.
and
All
chicken
that
stock and that
sherry and
sherry that
stuff,
we
yep.
put together.
Look at that. Oh, look at all that flavor.
Okay, so now we
Okay.
pour that in after it's all cooled.
That's great.
And
yeah.
we're going to marinate it overnight in the fridge.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Look at that, how beautiful that is. And the flavor. Okay,
Okay.
let's put this there too.
Okay,
Now-
so we take that and we wrap that and put it in the fridge.
Right.
And then the next morning we're going to come in and we're going to find
There's the
the marinated finished product.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so we have this. So
That
now
over there.
it's overnight, so it's cooled off beautifully, marinated.
Lots of flavor in the meat.
Lots of flavor in the meat. Now we have to strain this.
Okay, so we're going to strain it. So why are we straining it, chef?
Because we then take the marinade
Okay.
and boil it down to about a third or a quarter of a cup.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're going to reduce it. We're going to reduce it. So
Yeah. So we add
basically
that then to the marinade.
Okay. So we leave the
meat.
vegetables and everything in there,
Yeah.
and we just want to take off the marinade in the liquid.
That's right. Okay, look at that. Oh, that liquid's coming out. It won't take long to reduce.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Then we'll put this, make sure it's all coming out there.
Okay. So we're going to use the marinade in the terrine that we're making.
In a tree, that's all flavor. But we have to make sure that it is reduced then.
Okay.
And boiled.
And boiled.
Yeah,
Because
otherwise-
we've had some raw meat in
So
there
raw
and it's
meat in it, otherwise it's not
contaminated. So we need to make sure we cook that out.
cooked it out. But we don't want to lose the flavor.
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to set this back in the bowl.
Yeah, and let that reduce a bit more.
Stephen McKenzie, second-year culinary student, is going to take that away to the kitchen for us to reduce by half.
Great.
Okay.
So in the meantime, we have also something else overnight
Yeah.
in the fridge, and we'll turn our burner back on here, right?
Okay.
So we marinated
So this is our dried fruit mixture that we marinated in the
Yep.
orange juice overnight.
orange juice. Look how nicely it absorbed everything, right?
Yeah, nice and moist. There's
Nice
not much
and moist.
liquid left, but there is a little bit left in the.
There's a little bit left, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll put this into the bowl.
Okay, so we're going to put that into a pot. We're going to cook this up.
Yeah, that's going to be the cranberry fruit chutney.
Okay.
Okay, so cranberry. Let's have some beautiful cranberries.
Nice cranberries.
Yeah, we'll put this in there as well,
So we use a lot of local products as much as we can.
as much as we can. Yeah, fruit. And then we have some brown sugar.
Yep.
Add that to it. There.
Okay. So cranberries,
We just mix that up.
apricots, raisins, dates,
Yeah.
brown
Get
sugar.
Onions.
Yep.
A little bit of onions in there because that's going to be simmering for a bit. Okay.
Okay. So we're going to let this cook.
Let this cook. Yep. Then beautiful maple syrup. Add that to it. Gives it some nice sweetness of the tartness of your cranberry.
Okay. So,
Okay. And being a chutney, a little bit of rice vinegar here.
Okay.
Put that.
So some people consider a relish or a chutney to be very similar. Is there a main difference between chutneys and relishes?
Well, it depends who you're talking to these days. Usually a chutney is fruit-based, most
Fruit-based,
likely,
yeah.
and relish mostly vegetable-based, but it's interactive.
Okay.
So you'll see all. So we have some star anise here
Star
too.
anise. That's
Yeah.
going to give a nice anise flavor or
Anise
licorice flavor.
Yeah. Okay.
And we're just going to let this on to simmer. How long will we
Yeah.
let this simmer for?
At about 15 minutes, right? 15, 20 minutes. Also, I like a little spiciness to it.
Okay,
So
yeah, a little bit of heat.
A little bit of heat. Now it's up to the individual. Some like a lot. I'm not a spicy person, so a little less
so
for
you
me.
just use a little bit of sauce. You wouldn't
Yeah.
put a jalapeno or
A little
habanero
salt,
pepper in there?
A little salt in there. So just mix that up. Okay. Great.
Lovely. Looks great.
So let that simmer. Okay.
Okay.
We'll stir it once in a while.
Yeah.
And then you'll see how fast.
So
that's
about
simmer.
equal amount of cranberries to what we had for
Yeah.
dried fruit marinating overnight.
That's right. So let that simmer. Okay.
Okay.
Now next, we have the meat.
Okay.
So we'll have a beautiful KitchenAid here.
Okay.
We have a nice grinder attachment.
Okay. So we're going to
So-
grind. We're going to grind the marinated meat that we've
Yeah.
put together.
Let's see if that goes in there. Oops, that's not the way I
Careful,
want
chef.
it.
There you go.
See, it works.
It's a nice technique.
It's the one way of putting it together. Also, always make the safety. You want to have a stopsel here.
Okay, yeah.
So
Put your
we
fingers
need-
in there.
Yeah. Then we'll need some ice in a bowl.
Okay, yeah. We got some right here.
Okay. Let's
Keep
put
it cold
this-
because you want to keep it chilled, right? That's the secret.
Everything has to be chilled. Yeah. So we'll put this underneath here. Maybe
Okay, to catch it.
to catch it. So we'll want take the bay leaves we don't need. I'm just gonna get some. Make it sanitary. A little bit of a gloves here.
Okay. So we got to keep the ice bowl chilled, and what about the mixing unit itself? Should we put that in the freezer
Always
to chill
in the
that?
freezer to cool off.
So
Everything should be ice cold at all
Everything
times.
should be cold to keep
Yeah.
the meat cold, so we don't worry about
So
overcooking
we're just gonna take that and start putting it through there.
Okay.
Slowly turning it on there if you
turn that
like.
on
Yeah.
low?
Yeah. Yeah. A small blade. Then we're just gonna put that through it. Okay.
Okay. So we've got the vegetables that were in the marinade and the sauce is on reducing, and we've got the vegetables that were in there with the chicken and the pork,
Everything, all the
and
flavor.
we're just grinding it through the meat grinder. So a coarse grind, fine grind,
Fine grind. We'll
Fine
put it-
grind?
Like to put it through twice.
twice, just to
Oh,
make
yeah,
sure that
to
we
make
don't
a
have
nice
any.
fine product, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Some-
that, what'll that do? That'll help make your tureen a little bit smoother? Or?
Smoother, yeah. Now some people also say you can use another techniques with the RoboCube, but we just do a nice blend here.
Okay.
Let's it through another techniques, but that'll take some time.
Yeah.
So we'll put that through there twice. And also stir the,
Okay. We'll give that a stir. Yeah.
so you won't forget. Yeah, okay, so
Smell the anise kind of starting to come through that.
come through. We're just gonna turn that open
Just a little bit.
a little
Go a little
faster.
faster.
How's that? Yeah. Wanna make sure it's not maybe
Make sure you don't.
there. There. So we'll probably, as we said, we have to put that through twice, and then we'll have some fat
Okay.
beside you there.
Yeah. So we're gonna put fat in it as well. So we've used really lean chicken breast,
And then some fat, yeah.
and then we're gonna add fat to it.
Pork fat. Nice lean pork
Nice
fat.
lean pork fat. So
Yeah.
nice white, not.
Not any meat with it anymore.
So could you use bacon in this recipe anywhere, or would
It gives a different flavor.
different flavor
Not
because
saying
you got the
couldn't, but I
smokiness?
wouldn't really go to that. I would a classical tureen, be a lot nicer.
Okay.
So
Okay, so chef's gonna put the meat through the grinder a couple more, one more time. We got the chutney going on. When we come back, we're gonna build a tureen.
This portion of Kitchen Uncovered has been brought to you by the Culinary Institute of Canada. For more information on their programs, you can visit hollandcollege.com.
Community organizations and not-for-profit groups are invited to submit their announcements for free promotion on the Community One bulletin boards. Visit us at bellalliant.net/community1.
Disasters can take many shapes. Fires, floods, storms, and more. They're a part of life. So having a plan and assembling a kit to deal with disasters should be too. Be ready. We're here to help.
The Warriors Matching Mothers program has been wonderful for us because Chloe was born without her right arm.
Chloe and her family, they're going through these experiences that are new to them, and we've already been through it because Robin was born missing an arm. They can call us at any time. We'll be there.
It's really comforting to see how well Robin's doing.
Matching Mothers makes us realize just how lucky we are to have the Warriors behind us.
Welcome back to Kitchen Uncovered. I'm Chef Andrew Nicholson at the Culinary Institute of Canada, here with guest chef today, Hans Anderegg. We're doing terrine,
That's
pork
right,
and
yeah.
chicken.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got the meat ground.
That's right.
We've got the marinade reduced. We've got the pork fat ground up.
All ground up, yeah.
All ground up. So now we're going to mix it all together.
All mix it together. See how simple
Okay,
that is.
so we've
okay?
got the pork fat, and we've kept this all very chilled on ice.
Always cold.
In the refrigerator as
very
cold
yeah.
as possible.
Yeah. So
Right?
we'll mix that in there.
Okay.
I have some egg whites here.
Okay.
Add that to it as well. And
All right.
then we
Thank
have
you,
a
Stefan. Actually,
marinade.
the marinade that we had reduced.
We'll
Yeah.
just put that in it there. Okay. 3/4 of it. Yep.
Okay. So not the whole thing, just enough to moisten
Just
it up a
enough
little
to
bit.
moisten it up.
We can always add more if we decide it's too dry, maybe, or
Salt and pepper depends how do you like it.
okay.
And we'll, then again, you have to always try that. Don't always assume it's enough seasoning. You want to maybe take a little bit, poach it off a little bit, make sure it's seasoned well.
Okay.
And
Because we're going to actually serve this cold, right?
That's
This is-
cold, yeah. So you want to make sure it's seasoned well.
So we might need a little accent the seasoning a little bit just to make sure that it's.
That's right, yeah. And then we have some beautiful chanterelles,
Yep.
beautiful island chanterelles.
Island chanterelles.
Yeah.
You don't know where you get some of these, do you?
Would you believe in the woods? But we can't tell you where.
No, we can't tell you where.
No, because us, we all mushroom pickers, we have our secrets and we don't want to tell where it is.
You still won't give it up, eh?
No, not giving it
okay.
up. One of these days. But
Someday
no,
we'll figure
beautiful mushrooms, nice flavor. You want to saute those up before, prior
Okay.
to. You
A
want to
little bit of butter, a little bit of salt and pepper type of thing.
Yeah, just a little bit of salt, pepper, dry it out so there won't be too much moisture in it.
Okay.
If you don't have chanterelles, you certainly can take just regular button mushrooms.
Okay.
And other ingredients you can add to it. We have some beautiful nuts as well. You can put pine nuts in it. You could put ham in
So,
it, pistachio nuts
Pretty
in
much
it.
whatever you're in the
Whatever,
mood for.
nice, whatever you have around. Not necessarily this type, right?
Okay.
Nicely mixed up, right?
Yep. Oh, it smells
Okay,
awesome.
look at that flavor. The chanterelles just coming out nicely, right?
Yeah.
With all the other flavors we have in there.
Okay.
Okay.
So once we mix all that up, keeping everything cold and mixed up as much as possible.
Yeah, we mixed it up nicely, so
We're
we're
gonna
gonna put this into a nice
bag.
bag. Oh, shouldn't do that, but we'll have it. We'll take my gloves off here.
Okay.
Okay. Then we'll.
So we're going to pipe that into the terrine mold.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So the terrine mold's like a shape-formed pan, and we've got it lined with saran wrap.
That's right.
So if you didn't want to use saran wrap, you could
It's
just
just-
grease the pan with some.
Just butter it slightly. Your choice, right?
Yeah. What's the purpose of us using the?
It's just
the
like
saran wrap?
easier to take it out.
Okay.
Just much easier. Unmolding it afterwards and then leave it in the mold. And again, I use a piping bag here.
Okay.
Again, a little easy trick so you can put it a lot easier. You can just
Little more-
spoon it in as well if you like. But if
This
you
is a
look
little
at
bit
this,
cleaner.
yeah, we're just gonna put this, as you can see how fast that actually goes in there, how neat and how easy it is. Then we just fill that, as you can see, without any holes in
so
it.
You don't want any holes or air
That's
bubbles.
right. And then we just fill it to
back
the
and forth,
top.
pretty simple.
Yep. There. Look at that, beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll just put this on the side. We'll take this down, yeah. And then we'll just.
So you just
overlap,
cover it up with the.
Cover it up with the saran wrap to make it nice and straight on top,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Then we'll have that, put that into a bain-marie, we call it, or
Okay.
a poaching bed, right?
Poaching bath.
Again, saran wrap, and then also
lid
tin
if you
foil
have
if you
one.
want it. If you
Okay.
have a lid like this, it's even better.
What if you don't have a terrine mold? Could you just shape it
Just take,
Saran
again,
wrap,
saran
little-
wrap, and then just roll it in saran wrap as well.
as long as it's airtight and the
Yeah,
water can't get
then
in when
we
you
can
poach it?
Poach it, or even then we fill it up 3/4 away.
Okay. So 3/4 in the pan of the
Yep.
water.
There we are.
So moist heat to cook this, so we don't want dry heat when we put it in the oven.
That's right, so it's nicely, but a little bit more for that, and then we'll just put it
Okay.
in the oven,
And we bake that
350.
350 degrees.
Yeah.
For about how long?
About 50 minutes, or internal temperature of 150
On the inside.
on the inside.
Okay.
50
Then we
minutes
take it
of
out of the oven. We chill it.
that. Chill it, yeah.
Okay.
Let's clean that cutting board a little bit there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll just, okay. We take this one here, and I'll mold this one as well, right? If it's possible, we just take a little knife, cut through the saran wrap here.
Okay. So after we've baked it to 150 degrees internal temperature in a 350 degree oven,
Yeah.
we're in the bain-marie. Then we're going to take it out, let it sit overnight.
Let it cool.
Let it cool completely. It doesn't have to be overnight, but as long as it's got an hour or so to
Well,
set up
probably a
and
little bit more
chill
than an
down.
hour to chill down, yeah.
Okay.
And then as you can see,
And then
look
we've
at that
got
beautiful,
This is what we got.
beautiful tureen. Look at that. Gorgeous. That
Nice.
just came out of that mold. Made it
Just
that
like
day
nothing.
ahead. Yep. And then I have a little dressing here.
Okay, so what's the dressing, chef?
Just a little bit of pear, a little oil vinegar, right? Mix it up. Salt, pepper, simple. If
Okay.
you have some herbs, some thyme, cilantro,
Yeah.
chop them in there, grind them up. As you can see, it's
Just a
mixed
simple
blend.
dressing, just olive oil, vinegar,
Yeah.
and the flavoring of your
That's
choice.
right, yeah. And then we just take those out, right? Just take blender out here. And then we have it done, right? Then we'll go to plating. Okay, we'll
Okay.
have a plate there, beautiful
Yeah.
plate. We'll reach that over here. We'll put that there. Great. And then we'll have some dressing here as well.
Okay,
We're gonna mix that
a
up.
little salad.
And just a little bit of dressing in there if you like.
Okay,
Then we'll have some slices of this, just nicely sliced down. Look at that. Look at the inside of this. Gorgeous. The chanterelles give a nice little texture inside. Just don't put too much pressure on when you slice it. Just go like beautiful.
just let the
down.
knife do the work.
Knife, sharp knife, always a lot easier. And then we'll take this and do a nice little plate. Now you can make it as a center plate or an individual plate.
Okay.
We'll do a little center plate. We'll just take that lovely, beautiful salad, a little arugula, Boston lettuce, beautiful on the side here. Then I'll have the beautiful
Okay, so a little salad. Then we have the cranberry
fruit
chutney that we made.
Yeah,
So we put it on and we had it cooking down, and and we've chilled it.
yeah. Then we'll just put a little bit there. So we'll cover it up with the tureen, and then we'll
Beautiful.
Then I have a nice, hold on,
Moisture,
use a
lots
bit
of
more
color on the
top.
plate.
Yeah. Then we have some nice, beautiful tureen. We're just gonna put this over here. Beautiful. Look at that color. There. Wow. Isn't that what you want?
Nice tureen.
Beautiful. Oh, gorgeous. And if you want a little bit more on the outside, just for color-wise, a bit more in there so it's all evenly.
Yeah,
Gorgeous. How's that? Beautiful plate. Nice tureen.
well done.
Simple.
Country tureen, just
It
like
is.
that.
It is.
Thanks, Chef Hans.
welcome.
Pleasure joining us. Thanks
Thank
for being here. Thank you for joining us on Kitchen Uncovered. Check out our website, kitchenuncovered.com, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
Disasters can take many shapes. Fires, floods, storms, and more. They're a part of life. So having a plan and assembling a kit to deal with disasters should be too. Be ready. We're here to help.
The Warriors Matching Mothers program has been wonderful for us because Chloe was born without her right arm.
Chloe and her family, they're going through these experiences that are new to them, and we've already been through it because Robin was born missing an arm. They can call us at any time. We'll be there.
It's really comforting to see how well Robin's doing.
Matching Mothers makes us realize just how lucky we are to have the Warriors behind us.